Before we...
Oh, sorry, there were people and we were talking. Sorry.
Before we start, let's take a moment of silence to invoke Mother's and Sri Aurobindo's presence. Today, maybe we can start with, since we were talking about that, maybe we can start with it's, I think, Navratras here, and some of us have believe in that, even if some of us may not believe in that. Even then, we have this Sri Aurobindo's Durga Stotra with us, and in Hindi, somehow I feel it's not only in Hindi but also in English, it's quite a good read, like it inspires and invigorates us. So we can go through that today before we start the prayer. So just a moment. Yeah. So I've just kind of scanned this version of in the Hindi version. Maybe it's a very small booklet, much even thinner than the book The Mother by Sri Aurobindo. So we can go through it. So one by one, all of us can maybe take up one paragraph at once and go through. Yes, Anjali ji, you want to start?
Yeah. Durga Stotra. मातः दुर्गे सिंहवाहिनी सर्वशक्तिदायिनी मातः शिवप्रिये। तेरी शक्ति के अंश से उद्भूत हम भारत के युवक गण तेरे मंदिर में बैठे हुए तुझसे प्रार्थना करते हैं। सुन हे मातः, तू भारत में आविर्भूत हो, प्रकाशमान हो। मातः दुर्गे, युग युग में मानव शरीर धारण कर, जन्म जन्म में तेरा ही काम कर, हम तेरे आनंद धाम को लौट जाते हैं। इस बार भी जन्म लेकर हम तेरे ही कार्य के व्रती हैं। सुन हे माता, तू भारत में आविर्भूत हो, हमारी सहायक हो।
Thank you. So maybe someone else can read two more paragraphs. And even if we don't know good Hindi like Anjali ji, I would like everyone to try. You know, it's nice to try. So please go ahead.
Yeah. माता दुर्गे सिंह वाहिनी त्रिशूल धारिणी वर्म आवृत सुंदर शरीर धारिणी जय दायिनी मातः तेरी प्रतीक्षा में भारत तेरी उसी मंगलमयी मूर्ति को देखने के लिए उत्सुक है। सुन है माते, तू भारत में अभिभूत हो, प्रकाशमान हो। मातः दुर्गे बलदायिनी प्रेमदायिनी ज्ञानदायिनी शक्ति स्वरूपिणी भीमे सौम्य रौद्र रूपिणी जीवन संग्राम और भारत संग्राम में तेरे ही प्रेरित हम सब योद्धा हैं। दे मातः प्राण और मन में असुर की शक्ति दे, असुर का उद्यम दे, दे मातः हृदय और बुद्धि में देवता का चरित्र दे, देवता का ज्ञान दे।
Thank you. Yeah, anyone else who wants to try 2 more bits?
Yeah, I can try.
Yeah.
Durga Stotra. माता दुर्गे जगत श्रेष्ठ भारत जाति धोर घोर घोर तिमिर से आच्छन्न थी तू हे मातः गगन प्रात में धीरे धीरे उदय हो रही है तेरे स्वर्गिक शरीर की तेरे स्वर्गिक शरीर की तिमिर तिमिर विनाशी आभा से उषा का प्रकाश हुआ है आलोक विस्तार कर हे मातः तिमिर विनाश कर। मातः दुर्गे श्यामला सर्व सौंदर्य अलंकृता ज्ञान प्रेम शक्ति की आधार भारत भूमि तेरी विभूति इतने दिनों तक शक्ति संभरण के शक्ति संभरण के लिए अपने आप को छिपा रही थी आगत युग में आगत काल में जगत का भार कंधे पर लाद कर भारत जननी उठ रही है आ हे माता प्रकट हो।
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so who else is here? Okay, yes, Sharda ji.
या माता दुर्गे, हम तेरी संतान, तेरी प्रसाद से, तेरे प्रभाव से महत कार्य के, महत भाव के उपयुक्त हो जाए। हे माता, विनाश कर क्षुद्रता, विनाश कर स्वार्थ, विनाश कर भय। माता दुर्गे, काली रूपिणी, निर्मुंड मालिनी, दिगंबरी, कृपाण पाणी देवी, असुर विनाशिनी, अपने क्रूर निनाद से अंतस्थ रिपुओं का विनाश कर। हम इनमें से एक भी हमारे अंदर जीवित न रहे, जिससे कि हम विमल निर्मल हो जाए। यही प्रार्थना है। हे माता प्रकट हो। थैंक यू।
Yeah, who else would like to read 2 more?
I'll read. मातः दुर्गे, स्वार्थ से, भय से, शूद्र शायता से भारत म्रियमान हो रहा है। हे मातः, हमें महत प्रयासी कर, उदार चेता कर, सत्य संकल्पी कर, ऐसा कर जिससे कि हम अब और अल्पाभिप्सु, निश्चेष्ट, अलस तथा भयभीत ना हो। मातः दुर्गे, योग शक्ति का विस्तार कर, तेरी प्रिय आर्य संतान हम में लुप्त शिक्षा, चरित्र, मेधा शक्ति, श्रद्धा भक्ति, तपस्या, ब्रह्मचार्य, सत्य ज्ञान का विकास कर, जगत में वितरण कर। हे दुर्गति नाशिनी जगदम्बे, मनुष्य की सहायता के लिए प्रकट हो।
Thank you. So two more. Anyone else willing to read? Okay. If not, then Anjali ji, maybe you can finish it.
ओके।
Yeah.
मातः दुर्गे अंतस्थ रिपुओं का संहार करके बाहर के बाधा विघ्नों को निर्मूल कर बलशाली पराक्रमी उन्नत चेता जाति भारत के पवित्र काननों में उर्वर खेतों में गगन सहचर पर्वतों के तले पूत सलिला नदियों के तीर पर एकता से प्रेम से सत्य शक्ति से शिल्प से साहित्य से विक्रम से ज्ञान से श्रेष्ठ होकर निवास करे। मातृ चरणों में यही प्रार्थना है, हे मातः प्रकट हो। मातः दुर्गे हमारे शरीर में योग बल द्वारा प्रवेश कर हम होंगे तेरे यंत्र, तेरी अशुभ विनाशी तलवार राशि, तेरे अज्ञान विनाशी प्रदीप। हे मातः भारत के युवकों की इस आशा को पूर्ण कर यंत्री बनकर यंत्र चला, अशुभ हंत्री होकर तलवार घुमा, ज्ञान दीप्ति प्रकाशनी होकर हाथ में प्रदीप ले प्रकाशमान हो। मातः दुर्गे अब की बार तुझे पाने पर अब और तेरा विसर्जन नहीं करेंगे। श्रद्धा भक्ति और प्रेम की डोर से तुझे बांध लेंगे। आ मातः हमारे मन प्राण और शरीर में प्रकट हो। वीर मार्ग प्रदर्शनी आ, अब हम तेरा विसर्जन नहीं करेंगे। हमारा सारा जीवन ही अनवच्छिन्न दुर्गा पूजा हो। हमारे समस्त कार्य अविरत पवित्र प्रेममय शक्तिमय मातृ सेवा व्रत से युक्त हों। यही प्रार्थना है मातः। हे मातः तू भारत में आविर्भूत हो, प्रकाशमान हो।
Thank you.
जय मां।
So it would be, since all of us are not very well versed with Hindi, it would be incomplete if we don't take the English version also, right? So
बिल्कुल,
let's
डेफिनेटली।
let's do it today because I think it's appropriate occasion. Yeah. So here it is. We have it online, available in Bangla and English and all other languages. So let's, whatever we did with the Hindi version, let's take two passages each and read one by one. Just keep on unmuting and going on reading. Yeah.
Yeah. The Durga Stotra. Mother Durga, rider on the lion, giver of all strength, mother, beloved of Shiva, we, born from thy parts of power, we the youth of India, are seated here in thy temple. Listen, O mother, descend upon earth, make thyself manifest in this land of India. Mother Durga, from age to age, in life after life, we come down into the human body, do thy work, and return to the home of delight. Now too we are born, dedicated to thy work. Listen, O Mother, descend upon earth, come to our help.
Yeah, take one more. Let's read 3.
Okay. Mother Durga, rider on the lion, trident in hand, thy body of beauty armor clad, Mother, giver of victory. India awaits thee, eager to see the gracious form of thine. Listen, O Mother, descend upon earth, make thyself manifest in this land of India.
Thank you. Who wants to go next?
I'll read. Mother Durga, giver of force and love and knowledge, terrible art thou in thy own self of might, Mother beautiful and fierce. In the battle of life, in India's battle, we are warriors commissioned by thee. Mother, give to our heart and mind a Titan's strength, a Titan's energy, to our soul and intelligence, a God's character and knowledge. Mother Durga, India's world's noblest race, lay whelmed in darkness. Mother, thou risest on the eastern horizon. The dawn comes with the glow of thy divine limbs, scattering the darkness. Spread thy light, Mother, destroy the darkness. Mother Durga, we are thy children. Through thy grace, by thy influence, may we become fit for the great work, for the great ideal. Mother, destroy our smallness, our selfishness, our fear.
Thank you. Yeah, the next person, please.
Yeah, Monica. Thou art Kali, naked, garlanded with human heads, sword in hand. Thou slayest the Asura. Goddess, do thou slay with thy pitiless cry the enemies who dwell within us. May none remain alive there, not one. May we become pure and spotless. This is our prayer. O Mother, make thyself manifest. So the next one also.
Yeah, total three. In total three.
So I'll read.
Yeah, you have to read two more.
Okay. So India lies now in selfishness and fearfulness and littleness. Make us great. Make our efforts great. Our hearts vast. Make us true to our resolve. May we no longer desire the small, void of energy, given to laziness, stricken with fear. Mother Durga, extend wide the power of yoga. We are thy Aryan children. Develop in us again the last teaching, character, strength of intelligence, faith and devotion, force of austerity, power of chastity, and true knowledge. Bestow all that upon the world to help mankind. Appear, O Mother of the world, dispel all ills.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, who wants to go next?
I read.
Yes, please. Yeah, anyone who wants to go ahead, please.
So I read. Slay the enemy within. Mother Durga, slay the enemy within. Then root out all obstacles outside. May the noble, heroic, mighty Indian race, supreme in love and unity, truth and strength, arts and letters, force and knowledge, ever dwell in its holy woodlands. Its fertile fields, under its sky-scraping hills, along the banks of its pure streaming rivers. This is our prayer at the feet of the Mother. Make thyself manifest. Mother Durga, enter our bodies in thy yogic strength. We shall become thy instruments, thy sword slaying all evil, the lamp dispelling all ignorance. Fulfill this yearning of thy young children, O Mother. Be the master and drive the instrument. Wield thy sword and slay the evil. Hold up the lamp and spread the light of knowledge. Make thyself manifest. Mother Durga, when we possess thee, we shall no longer cast thee away. We shall bind thee to us with the tie of love and devotion. Come, Mother, manifest in our mind and life and body. Come, revealer of the hero path.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, please, you can finish it off. Yeah, please.
Come, revealer of the hero path, we shall no longer cast thee away. May our entire life become a ceaseless worship of the mother. All our acts a continuous service to the mother, full of love, full of energy. This is our prayer, O mother. Descend upon earth. Make thyself manifest in this land of India. Jai Ma.
Okay. Those of us who are interested, there are several recitations of Durga Stotra also by Aurobindo. You can check it out and listen to it if you like. Or it would be nice if we can chant it our own selves. I think that is also, it's quite, I find it very invigorating. It gives us a lot of energy and power. So, yeah. Anything anyone wants to add on here on Durga Stotra? Some of the lines I resonate with more than the others. Somehow, this one, slay the enemy within, then
Right.
root out all obstacles outside. Yeah. Make our efforts great, our hearts vast. Make us true to our resolve. May we no longer desire the small void of energy given to laziness stricken with fear. Slay with thy pitiless cry the enemies who dwells within us. May none remain alive there, not one. May we become pure and spotless. This is our prayer. Destroy our smallness, our selfishness, our fear. And again, in Hindi, this was Asuric strength, and so now, for those of us who were wondering why would Sri Aurobindo they say that, so it refers to Titanic. Titanic also means like huge, like humongous, never-ending strength and never-ending energy. So give to our heart and mind a titan's strength, because at times, when we are overwhelmed by our human weaker emotions, we feel very weak, like we don't have enough strength. So he says, give to our heart and mind a titan's strength, a titan's energy. To our soul and intelligence, a God's character and knowledge. Yes. So yes, thank you everyone for going through. And today I thought we can take a couple of prayers again. I don't know how we still have a lot of time. We can, I think, still take. Let me just pull it out.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. Like while going through it, it's like like if I look at myself, there's so much energy, there's so much time, and what I'm doing with that time. Like, say, if I have anger, if I'm ruthless, if I'm rude, if I'm impatient, what is that directed towards, right? Like mostly exterior things, mostly others, mostly the small nothingnesses of the outer. And when one reads this, again, one is reminded that there's so much work to be done within me. So if I have to channel anger, if I have to be ruthless, if I have to do something, actual doing which would actually be of any significance whatsoever in my life or in anybody else's would be if I'm slaying these dragons, right? Like these monsters, these vrittis, these habits that I have to this birth or next or next or next. So it was very beautifully coming out again and again that this is the ye kar lo mat. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, very true. I think at times when our focus is on the trivia and the little which during that focus it doesn't appear as trivia and little, it appears very important कि इसको तो ध्यान देना ही देना है. तो तब हम उस टाइम पे अगर गलती से ऐसी चीज़ों पे नज़र पड़ जाती है तो अपने ऊपर शर्म आती है, जो कि बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है कि ये कहाँ फंसे हुए हैं, है ना. मतलब ये कहाँ दिमाग पूरा एनर्जी, एज यू सेड, यू नो, कि इतनी एनर्जी है, इतना व्हाट इज एंगर, एंगर इज ऑल्सो एनर्जी, यू नो. बट व्हेन, एज यू सेड, इट इज नॉट चैनलाइज्ड प्रॉपरली, छोटी छोटी जगहों में इधर मेरी जिद और अपनी यू नो इधर उधर की लाइक्स एंड प्रेफरेंसेस में घुसा रखी होती है. तो और जब बीच में कहीं ऐसी चीज पढ़ लेते हैं तो मैंने देखा है कि फिर अपने ऊपर शर्म सी आती है, और उस इट्स लाइक अ गुड काइंड ऑफ शर्म, नॉट टेकिंग यू डाउन इन द गिल्ट, बट वो शर्म आती है कि ये कहाँ फंस गए, यू नो, फिर से. एंड देन यू कैन ट्राई टू अगेन काइंड ऑफ अपलिफ्ट. ऑल राइट, सो so we've taken all these prayers again earlier, and I don't know, nowadays I thought maybe it would be nice for us to give it a little change and take theme by theme. So today I thought we can go through where mother is talking about circumstances. तो उसमें क्या है, circumstances में मदर ने ये ऐसा भी नहीं है कि that they don't matter. So this particular prayer is very very revelatory. We have read it earlier couple of times or maybe more. But first going through this one and then taking a couple of more on circumstances. Their mother shares that although they don't matter, but yes, they matter. So let's see what mother shares here. So yes, Feb 12, 1914. If anyone would like to read, please read.
Yes. The first paragraph, right now?
You can read the whole prayer, actually.
Okay. Sure. When conscious with thy supreme consciousness, one considers all earthly circumstances, one sees their complete relativity and says, to do this thing or that, after all, that is not of much importance. Yet a particular mode of action will be the best utilization of a certain faculty, a certain temperament. All actions, whatever they may be, even the most contradictory in appearance, can be an expression of thy law to the extent that they are infused with the consciousness of that law, which is not a law of practical application that can be translated into principles or rules in the ordinary human consciousness, but a law of attitude, of a constant and prevailing consciousness, something that cannot be expressed in formulas but may be lived. But as soon as one falls back into the ordinary consciousness, nothing should be treated lightly and with indifference. The least circumstances, the smallest acts have a great importance and should be seriously considered, for we must try at every moment to do that which will make the identification of our consciousness with the eternal consciousness easy, and avoid carefully all that could be an obstacle to this identification. It is then that the rules of conduct, having as their foundation perfect personal disinterestedness, should find their full value. With peace in my heart, with light in my mind, the hope born of certitude in all my being, I greet thee, O Lord, divine Master of eternal love. Thou art the reason of our existence and our goal.
Thank you. Yeah, so I wanted to bring to light this contrast that mother shares first in the first paragraph, and then, almost something which is kind of complementary in the second paragraph. So she says that when we are identified with the supreme consciousness, when conscious with thy supreme consciousness, then one sees that everything, like to do this thing or that, after all, is not much of importance. So one can be in any particular position, in any country, in any, it doesn't matter really where one is or what one is doing, but that consciousness with which one is identified. So, to do this thing or that, after all, that is not much of importance. Yet a particular mode of action will be the best utilization of a certain faculty, a certain temperament. So this we see, like in, with mother, there were several sadhaks and sadhikas, and each one according to their temperament, their individuality, was given work by the mother. They may want some other work, but they were given what mother felt that, that person would be nice at or good at, has a natural talent at. So according to that temperament, that would be the best utilization of a certain faculty. All actions, whatever they may be, even the most contradictory in appearance, can be an expression of thy law. So and that is why mother says, when we talk about the 11 points of kind of walking towards finding the psychic, when mother shares these 11 points, the first point is that don't judge spiritual things with your mind, because mind just looks at the appearances, and there is something beyond appearances which, no matter how good we may be at logic or analytics, but it is not in our grasp. So not to try to calculate or try to fathom, too much about happenings or why, things are happening in this or that manner. So here mother shares about that all actions, whatever they may be, even the most contradictory in appearance, that you can say, oh, how a spiritual person can do that, it can come to the mind. But to a truly spiritual person, like say Sri Aurobindo, identified with a higher consciousness, it is not a big deal to, for example, smoke a cigar. And that is why we see that the moment, somebody says, okay, leave it, he leaves it, because his self is not dependent upon it. So mother in the first paragraph beautifully shares that even the most contradictory in appearance can be an expression of thy law, to that extent that they are infused with the consciousness of that law, which is not a law of practical application that can be translated into principles or rules in the ordinary human consciousness, but a law of attitude, of a constant and prevailing consciousness, something that cannot be expressed by formulas but may be lived. So if I say today that, oh, Sri Aurobindo used to smoke cigar, so I will also smoke cigar. So now it cannot be applied. That's what mother is sharing. That it cannot become a practical like a formula, but it is like that inner consciousness which is the main ruler, the main master. And then in the paragraph that comes below this, mother gives us this clue to the catch. Mother says, and we have to know that most of the times, and but we can say virtually all of the time, we are in this consciousness, the ordinary human consciousness. So mother says, but as soon as one falls back into the ordinary consciousness, nothing should be treated lightly and with indifference. Are ki chalta hai, doesn't matter. Like, and that is why mother has given so much importance to sincerity through work, that in your work you have to be as best as perfect you can be, and work done with a sincere attitude is as good as meditation, she says. So but as soon as one falls back into the ordinary consciousness, nothing should be treated lightly and with indifference. The least circumstances, the smallest acts, have a great importance and should be seriously considered. So अगर हमको सीरियस होना ही है, तो हम इस चीज में हो सकते हैं कि जो भी काम हम कर रहे हैं उसको हम एक अच्छे भाव से और with the best that we can offer there, हम गलत जगह सीरियस हो जाते हैं। हम अपनी कोई किसी बंदे ने कुछ बोल दिया, इंसल्ट कर दिया, रिजेक्ट कर दिया, अच्छा प्रेस कर दिया, तो वहां उस चीज को सीरियसली ले लिया। तो उसकी जगह हमको इस चीज को सीरियसली लेना है कि हम जो काम कर रहे हैं अपना, एंड डे टू डे लाइफ में वी हैव एनफ चोर्स, और इन वर्क प्लेस, इन फैमिली, वेर एवर, दैट शुड बी डन विद as much sincerity and offering and the highest possible attitude. So the smallest acts have a great importance and should be seriously considered, for we must try at every moment to do that which will make the identification of our consciousness with the eternal consciousness easy. तो तभी हमें कहा जाता है कि ऐसे काम ना करें जो हमारी कॉन्शियसनेस को खराब करते हैं। तो जैसे उस दिन हम बात कर रहे थे कि न्यूज वगैरह देखने से बहुत ज्यादा नेगेटिव प्रभाव हमारे ऊपर अगर पड़ रहा है, तो हमें याद रखना है कि हम श्री अरबिंदो नहीं है। हाँ, वो न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ते थे, उसका एक डिफरेंट रीजन था, लेकिन हम जो भी पढ़ेंगे उसका हमारी कॉन्शियसनेस पे, इट्स लाइक वेट सीमेंट। गीले सीमेंट पे अगर आप पैर रख दो तो वो छाप हमेशा की तरह रह जाती है उस सीमेंट पे। तो हमारी जो कॉन्शियसनेस है, इट इज इन ऑर्डिनरी ह्यूमन कॉन्शियसनेस इज नॉट अ सपल कॉन्शियसनेस, इट्स नॉट लाइक स्पंज की तरह कि उसके ऊपर कुछ पड़ा और फिर रिलैक्स हो गई, पड़ा और फिर रिलैक्स हो गई। नो, when we listen or hear these words, either news or something like that, or something which is not good for us to hear, then it leaves an impression like this, and it takes a long time. All of us know how much time it takes for each one of us, so that we can be again like that. And even those past impressions, they keep on pressing from time to time, and they make us constricted, suffocated, and limited. So we have to understand our limitations very factually, that we are not in the highest most consciousness all the time. So whatever we are listening to, whatever we are reading, whatever people we are interacting with, whatever attitude that we have, even if we may be interacting with highly spiritual people, but attitude है चिपचिपाहट का, तो वो भी गड़बड़ करेगा. Stickiness will. So that's why mother says that in the first paragraph, it is the inner attitude, it is that prevailing consciousness, which is like, in other words, a non-sticky consciousness, that is important. And that is why you cannot apply one rule to every person. And that's why maybe I feel that mother has said that before the psyche fully takes over, one has to be using the reason, the power of reason. कि क्या ये हितकर है हमारे लिए, क्या ये हमें बेनिफिट दे रहा है, तो ये तो रीजनेबल है, ये तो हमें समझ में आता है कि आग में अगर हाथ डालेंगे तो वो हमें जलाएगा, तो क्या ये मेरे लिए हितकर है, क्या ये दूसरे बंदे के लिए हितकर है, दिस इज अवर रीजन. सो वी मस्ट यूज रीजन बिफोर वी ट्रूली आर कॉन्शियसली आइडेंटिफाइड विद द हायर कॉन्शियसनेस. एंड सर्कमस्टांसेस डू matter for people like us, because we are like a sapling, we are not yet become a tree. है ना, कि ट्री के आसपास बड़े बड़े जीव जंतु घूम रहे हैं, उसको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा. वी आर लाइक अ सैपलिंग, तो उसके ऊपर अगर एक हाथी का पैर पड़ेगा तो चौपट गया बेचारे को, फिर से सीड डालो और फिर से बो और फिर से खेती करो. सो वी ऑल नो, एंड ऑल ऑफ अस आई एम श्योर हैव एक्सपीरियंसेस इन अवर लाइफ वेयर हमने कहीं एक ऐसा कुछ है ना, वी इंटरैक्टेड इन सच अ सिचुएशन वेयर वी समहाउ हैड अ फीलिंग कि हमें नहीं करना चाहिए बहुत ज्यादा एक्सटर्नलाइज, बट वी डिड, एंड वी सी दैट आवर माइंड देन कीप्स ऑन गोइंग देयर अगेन एंड अगेन बिकॉज द माइंड इज टोटली आउट ऑफ कंट्रोल. तो फिर बाद में हम सोचते हैं कि अच्छा क्यों किया, या क्यों बात करी, या क्यों पंगे में डाला बिना बात के, क्योंकि अभी माइंड हमारा आउट ऑफ कंट्रोल है. अभी इट्स नॉट, वी आर नॉट मास्टर्स ऑफ अवर माइंड. तो अगर जाना ही है तो बार बार हम वहां जाएं जो हमें हितकारी है, हमारे लिए बेनिफिशियल. So anything here, anyone? Yeah, so here just continuing and finishing this off, that whatever makes that identification with our consciousness, with the eternal consciousness easy, that should be done, and avoid carefully all that could be an obstacle to this identification. So ऐसी तभी मदर कहती है कि gossip is like a spiritual suicide, because anything that takes us, pulls us down, and we begin to, जो भी हमने पिछले 10 दिनों में गेन किया अपने अंदर, क्योंकि अभी वो परिपक्व नहीं हुआ है, अभी वो मैच्योर नहीं हुआ है, राइप नहीं हुआ है, तो एकदम से चौपट हो जाता है. एंड देन ऑफ कोर्स दैट प्रैक्टिस हैज टू स्टार्ट अगेन आफ्टर सम रिग्रेट और feeling sorry about ourselves. Yeah, so I just wanted going through a couple of prayers on circumstances, and maybe this came up, and I thought it's very important before we talk about कि अगर ये circumstances से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, because in this prayer mother says कि तब फर्क नहीं पड़ता जब आप यूनाइटेड हो अपनी हाईएस्ट पॉसिबल कॉन्शियसनेस के साथ, तब पड़ता है जब हम अपनी ऑर्डिनरी कॉन्शियसनेस में हैं, to be cautious of that. So anything on this prayer, anyone? All right, so then we can move to maybe a different one. There was a prayer which was, I thought was also very nice. Yeah, this one, March 1, 1914. So again, a short prayer, one page. If it, if someone wants to read, please go ahead.
Yeah. March 1, 1914. It is in one's own self that all the obstacles lie. It is in one's own self that all the difficulties are found. It is in one's own self that there is all the darkness and ignorance. Were we to travel throughout the earth, were we to go and bury ourselves in some solitude, break with all our habits, lead the most ascetic life, yet if some bond of illusion held back our consciousness far from thy absolute consciousness, if some egoistic attachment cut us off from the integral communion with thy divine love, we would be no nearer thee despite all outer circumstances. Can any circumstances be considered more or less favorable? I doubt it. It is the idea we have about them which enables us to profit much or less by the lessons they give us. O Lord, I implore thee, grant that I may be perfectly conscious and master of all that constitutes this personality, so that I may be delivered from myself and thou alone mayst live and act through these multiple elements. To live in love, by love, for love, indissolubly united to thy highest manifestation. Always more light, more beauty, more truth.
Thank you. So here again, something on circumstances that the first three lines are quite beautiful and revelatory. तो मतलब अगर हम इस चीज को सत्य मान लें तो हमारे पास कंप्लेन करने का कोई रीजन रह नहीं जाएगा. तो शर्म आ जाएगी अगेन अपने ऊपर कि जैसे कंप्लेन करने लगेंगे कि अरे ये तो अभी तो ये पड़ा, और कैसे कंप्लेन कर सकते हैं किसी और की या बाहर की परिस्थिति की. So it is in one's own self that all, mother could have said that some or most of it, but she didn't say that. So it is in one's own self that all the obstacles lie. It is in one's own self that all the difficulties are found. Amazing, really. It is in one's own self that there is all the darkness and ignorance. तो किसी भी अगर ऐसा लग रहा है कि बाहर कोई ऐसा बंदा है जो बहुत डिफिकल्ट है और हमारी लाइफ जिसने दूभर बना रखी है, अगर ये नहीं होता तो बस सब कुछ ठीक होता. All these kinds of things, or even about life situations, that why is it happening like this or that and not really right. So all our, like, it makes our mouth shut when we read this. And as in some other prayers, Mother has shared the power of inner attitude. So we see that the moment our attitude changes, then actually there is no obstacle, and then actually there is no difficulty, and then actually there is nothing that we have outside of us. Because once we are ready to work on ourselves all the time with all the situations and people around us, तब फिर actually I feel that it's like a fresh challenge every time, that okay, now what do I have to change within me, now. So constantly we have a challenge, and we have many imperfections and weaknesses, which as if like a mirror are shown in the outer circumstances, so that we can look at them clearly and make a move within. So, and then Mother shares that even if the best of situations happen, that you think that, oh, मेरी अभी जो situation है वो spiritual growth के लिए perfect नहीं है, तो Mother कह रही हैं कि अगर even best situation भी ले लो, कि आप बिल्कुल बढ़िया situation में हो, yet if some bond of illusion held back our consciousness far from thy absolute consciousness, if some egoistic attachment cut us off from the integral communion with thy divine love, we would be no nearer thee despite all outer circumstances. We have enough anecdotes where there were people, sadhaks, or disciples in the ashram, living in the ashram, close to the mother, very close to Sri Aurobindo, and yet harboring all kinds of darknesses, illusions, and anger and resentment and whatnot. We have enough examples. तो कहीं ऐसा लगे कि अच्छा, ये तो बहुत easy है, तो, and of course Mother has said that it's not easy to live in the ashram, because in the ashram what will happen is that whatever imperfections or weaknesses, they'll be very right in front of us, so that we can work on them. Can any circumstances be considered more or less favorable? So when we are working and ready to work on our inner attitudes, and know that whatever may be happening in outer situations, my inner communion with the divine is the foremost important. चाहे आपको रेस्पेक्ट मिल रही है, नहीं मिल रही है, चाहे आपने जो काम किया था उसके लिए आपको प्रेज मिली, एक्कोलेड्स मिले, नहीं मिले, किसी बंदे ने आपको इंसल्ट कर दिया, रिजेक्ट कर दिया, उतना प्यार नहीं मिला जितना आपने एक्सपेक्ट किया था. So all these things are very secondary in nature if we realize that through all of them, इससे मुझे ये पता लग रहा है कि ओ अभी भी वहां पे उम्मीद थी. Because all this situation, if they bother us, तो बार बार हमें ये पता लगता है, अरे अभी भी वहां से उम्मीद थी, अभी भी वहां से उम्मीद थी, है ना. तो हमारी उम्मीद नहीं छूटती. तो ये कहा जाता है उम्मीद पे दुनिया कायम है, एंड दुनिया इज दीज दो पाटन के बीच में साबुत बचाना कोई, रनिंग टुवर्ड्स प्लेजर, रनिंग अवे फ्रॉम पेन. प्रेज चाहिए, रिजेक्शन नहीं चाहिए, है ना. अपने लिए सुंदर सुंदर चाहिए, जब अगली आता है तो वो नहीं चाहिए. तो अगर कहीं पे भी हमारी उम्मीद इस संसार से बची हुई है, दैट थिंग, दैट पर्सन, दैट सिचुएशन, दैट रिलेशनशिप, दैट कंट्री, दैट प्लेस कैन गिव मी अ लास्टिंग सेटिस्फैक्शन, तो जब हमें डिसअपॉइंटमेंट होती है तो वो मुझे बताता है कि ओ अभी भी उम्मीद अटकी हुई थी वहां पे. सो वही मदर, व्हाट मदर इज शेयरिंग, दैट इफ सम बॉन्ड ऑफ इल्यूजन, it's like a bond of illusion, it is an illusion that I'm wanting my satisfaction from the fleeting ephemeral world and its happening. तो ये हमारे लिए एक बड़ा अच्छा जैसे झटका होता है, लाइक एन आई ओपनर, कि अच्छा अभी भी उम्मीद थी कि यहाँ से मिलेगा, नहीं मिलेगा, आप क्या करोगे. एंड देन अवर ध्यान, टोटल फोकस कैन बी ऑन अवर इनर वर्क, totally relying on the divine for all emotional support and other supports, and no one else. And then we have actually no worry. We all may have glimpses of these moments जब हमारा पूरा ध्यान सिर्फ रिलायंस पूरी डिवाइन पे होती है, तो उस समय फिर हमें डिसअपॉइंटमेंट नहीं लगती बाहर के लोगों से या सिचुएशन से, है ना? लेकिन वही है कि वो आता है फिर चला जाता है, फिर वो उम्मीद डेवलप हो जाती है, फिर वो आता है फिर चला जाता है, फिर उम्मीद डेवलप हो जाती है. Yeah, and then mother says that if we consider a situation more or less favorable, then actually it is the idea that we have about them which enables us to profit much or little by the lessons they give us. तो हमारे दिमाग में अगर बैठ जाता है कि अगर मैं यहाँ रहूंगी या अगर मैं इस पर्सन के साथ रहूंगी तो मेरे लिए सब अच्छा होगा, है ना, तो मेरी लाइफ की जो ग्रोथ है वो अच्छी रहेगी. अगर आपने वो माइंड में सेट कर रखा है तो फिर यू नो mother says that it is the idea that we have about them, about the situations, which enables us to profit much or little. और उसके बारे में अगर आपने ये सोच रखा है कि नहीं यहाँ पे तो मुझे कुछ मिल ही नहीं सकता, नहीं ये तो सिचुएशन ही बहुत खराब है, तो एज इफ दैट वी हैव क्रिएटेड अ ब्लॉक इन फ्रंट ऑफ अस, एंड वट एवर ग्रोथ दैट वी कैन हैव थ्रू दैट सिचुएशन, देन वी विल नॉट बी ओपन टू दैट. बंद कर लिया अपने आप को, है ना, वो जैसे चार दीवारी के अंदर. एंड दैट जैसे ही वो आइडिया चेंज होता है कि अच्छा होने को तो कुछ भी यहाँ भी हो सकता है वहां भी हो सकता है, जैसे वो आइडिया हमारा चेंज हुआ तो थोड़ा सा दिमाग खुल जाता है, माइंड खुल जाता है, हार्ट खुल जाता है. बट क्योंकि it is the ego which has all these ideas, it is very very difficult at times to let go of our ideas. It is a zid that we have, it is our stubbornness that we have कि नहीं होएगा तो इसी तरीके से होगा. तो वो जिद जब हमसे छूटती है, विच इज एक्चुअली अ फेलियर ऑफ द ईगो बट अ विक्ट्री ऑफ द स्पिरिट. बट क्योंकि हम अपने आप को ईगो समझते हैं इसलिए हमें लगता है कि नहीं मेरा फेलियर नहीं होना चाहिए, मैं कैसे प्रूव हो जाऊं कि मैं गलत हूँ. तो हम वो जिद भी नहीं छोड़ते हैं और जिद को छूटने में सालों सालों लग जाते हैं और कभी कभी एक पूरा जन्म लग जाता है और हमारी जिद नहीं छूटती. हमें लगता है कि वो जो हुआ वो बहुत गलत हुआ और वो नहीं होना चाहिए था, और उसको हम 80-90 साल तक लेके उसी को लेके ही मरते हैं साथ में. And that is why we love is courage, we need a courageous heart, a heroic heart, if we have to let go of our stubbornness, कि जिद ही तो है छोड़ दो. And then we see that things are okay. So if we go through some humiliation, insult, whatever, it is all a cheap bargain. सह लो, जो ह्यूमिलिएशन हो रही है सह लो, ह्यूमिलिएशन ईगो की होती है ना. But if we open our heart in any particular situation, then we see that any learning, any growth can happen in whatever situation, with whatever person, and in whatever life condition. Yeah, anything so far? Anybody? In the second paragraph, mother talks about the key, or the golden key, or the kunji, we can say, to be free of our suffocating self. So mother says, grant that I may be perfectly conscious and master of all that constitutes this personality, so that I may be delivered from myself, and thou alone mayst live and act through these multiple elements. So it's like a beautiful visual imagery that mother has created here, that each, like if we consider कि एक prison है और उस prison में या एक बड़ी सी building है, उस building में several layers are there, and each of these layers are working, they are operational. जब हमें इन layers का ज्ञान नहीं होता है कौन सी लेयर कब काम कर रही है, तो हम इनके स्लेव होते हैं, क्योंकि वो हमें रूल कर रही है ना, वो हमसे करवा रही है, हम करे जा रहे हैं, हमको पता ही नहीं आ रही है कौन सी लेयर ने काम कर दिया. सो मदर सेज, ग्रांट दैट मे आई बी मोर एंड मोर कॉन्शियस ऑफ ईच पार्ट ऑफ माई पर्सनैलिटी, सो दैट आई कैन बी अ मास्टर ऑफ देम. तो अगर हमें पता ही नहीं होगा कि हमें कितने फ्लोर्स के बने हुए हैं बीइंग, ये थॉट्स, ये फीलिंग्स, ये बॉडी कॉन्शियसनेस, द साइकिक, द स्पिरिचुअल, और जो बीच बीच की लेयर्स हैं, ऑल द ग्रेस, तो अगर हमें पता ही नहीं होगा, देन वी आर रूल्ड बाय देम. सो मदर सेज दैट मेक मी मोर एंड मोर कॉन्शियस so that I may not be ruled by them, I may become the master of them. So when I am the master of all these infinite number of pieces and parts that I am composed of, then I will not be ruled by their dictates. And when I will not be ruled by their dictates, then it will be your will which will be operating through that instrument. क्योंकि अभी तो क्या होता है, ईच पार्ट एंड प्लेन ऑफ द बीइंग, उसके थ्रू ईगो उसको आके क्लेम कर लेती है, क्योंकि पता ही नहीं है क्या हो रहा है, कुछ भी भसड़ मची हुई है. लेकिन जब हम कॉन्शियस होते हैं कि ओ ये तो दिस इज कमिंग फ्रॉम दिस डोमेन, वी मे नॉट नीड टू लेबल इट, बट जस्ट बिकमिंग द साक्षी, एंड नॉट टू बी रूल्ड बाय इट, having no personal interest left in those dictates and manipulations. Then when we are able to step back from all these demands, then it is the divine that works through that instrument. So let's go through this again. So, O Lord, I implore thee, grant that I may be perfectly conscious and master of all that constitutes this personality, so that I may be delivered from myself. कि वो तब मैं उनके डिक्टेट से फ्री हूँ, क्योंकि अब मुझे ज्ञान है कि कौन सा डिक्टेट कहाँ से आ रहा है. आई एम कॉन्शियस. तो जब वो आएगा डिक्टेट, तो आई वुड नॉट टेक इट एज ओ ये तो मुझे करना ही करना है क्योंकि ये मेरी डिजायर है या मेरी फीलिंग है. Knowing that it is coming from these planes and parts, and I don't have to follow it. So that I may be delivered from myself, my little self, and thou alone mayst live and act through these multiple elements. What we were talking in Durga Stotra also, कि हमें अपना यंत्र बना. So then that can happen. Again, all of us are aware that it is a very, very long process of being conscious of each part and plane of our being. And as we were discussing that many a times, instead of getting lost in the trivia कि मेरी जिद के हिसाब से क्यों नहीं हो रहा, उसकी जगह अगर हम इस चीज़ पे ध्यान दे पाएं कि हम कितने कॉन्शियस हैं अपने अंदर को लेकर, और कितना हम आइडेंटिफाइड हैं अपनी ट्रू कॉन्शियसनेस के साथ, तो हमारा काम थोड़ा हल्का हो जाता है, आसान हो जाता है, इन द सेंस दैट lots of energy is not wasted then on matters which are not really important. Yeah, anything here? Anyone?
Yeah. Um, every time I listen to these and the nature's fold and everything, in me I find my ego become being the only barrier to overcome, especially to get rid of that I and to overcome that I and to concentrate on bigger things. But right now, I'm experimenting with I'm experimenting by trying to find some work that would make me um, tired. Not tired as in boring and tired, but that I can enjoy. But by the end of the day, or when I become idle, I'm tired and I just want to go to sleep and then wake up and again repeat the same work. So then at least I will not have that leisure to think about me and my troubles and how I'm being treated. At least that's something I'm looking forward to find some that sort of work. Yeah.
Yes, yes. It's a good channelizing of energies, because we have energies and when they are not channelized properly, then of course, as you shared, that we have obsessive compulsive loops in our head and heart which go on kind of rumination and regurgitation. So people, whenever all of us see that we have lots of time at hand, then we will see that our emotional troubles also become a lot. And when we don't have much time at hand and there is good work that we have to keep ourselves engaged with, then there's hardly anything to complain about. So yes. लेकिन उसमें भी हमारे जो हम बड़े कलाकार लोग हैं, तो उसमें 5-10 मिनट भी जो बचते होंगे ना, उसमें भी हम निकाल लेते हैं टाइम कंप्लेन करने का. कमाल के लोग हैं. Yes. So today maybe we can take this much. If there are any last comments, please go ahead. Okay, so let's take a moment of silence and share and dedicate all the goodness, merit, individual and collective, with all the sentient beings near and far, people who are suffering because of war and all the things that we humans do, dedicating all the merit with those innumerable people. May all of us have wellness and happiness in our lives. May we not suffer. May all the causes of suffering be taken away from each one of us. May we have true happiness and the causes of true happiness. Thank you.